Hey guys, it's Izzy and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so sorry for how long it's been since I've last posted a video. It's been probably close to a month. December was just such a busy time for me with working and Christmas and seeing friends and family and preparing to go travelling, because on the day I'm filming this, which is the 4th of January 2026, I am leaving to go travelling around Southeast Asia for 4 to 5 months in a week. I leave next Sunday, the 11th, which is just crazy to even think or comprehend. This video probably won't be posted until after I leave to go travelling. My plan is to film a couple videos and then edit them and slowly upload them while I'm travelling, so there is a consistent-ish stream of videos, because I don't want to completely let this YouTube channel go while I'm travelling. I've really enjoyed posting on this channel, and 2026 is a year that I hope to only post more, so I don't want to just completely let it slide while I'm travelling for these 4 to 5 months until around May, June when I come back. Now that I've rushed that disclaimer out, we can get into today's video, which is the 26 books that I want to read in 2026. So first up on this list, book number 1 is City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare. This is a slightly ironic book to be first on my list, considering I have it right here and I'm this far through it. However, this is a library book and I need to return it before I go travelling, but I am very much planning on picking it back up sometime, which is really frustrating because I have a video in the works of me reading the first 3 books of the Mortal Instruments series. I have all of the clips, all of the footage from me reading City of Bones in, when was that, October, November, and I was planning on having read City of Ashes and the second book on this list actually, which is City of Glass, so the first 3 books in the Mortal Instruments series, and I wanted to have that video posted before I went travelling. So the video is going to have to take a pause, but I don't know when I'm going to finish that video, so it could end up that the first third of the video was from October, November 2025 and the rest may not be until June, July 2026, but we'll have to see. The next book, the third book I want to read in 2026, is The Woman by Kristen Hannah. At the very start of last year I read The Nightingale, and if you've watched any of my videos on this channel, you've probably heard me absolutely rave about that book. It was one of the most life-changing books I've read. I've never cried so hard, I've never been so emotionally moved by a book in my life. It was phenomenal. And The Woman by Kristen Hannah follows the forgotten woman during the Vietnam War. Now, I'm visiting Vietnam and I just think that this would be the most perfect time to read The Woman, because I will be going to the Cu Chi tunnels in Ho Chi Minh, which is a war museum of the Viet Cong's guerrilla tactics, and I'm hopefully going to go to the Prisoner of War Museum in Hanoi, which I think is also to do with the Vietnam War. So I'm very much going to be embracing and learning and just trying to get as involved with the culture and learning the history of the Vietnam War. What better place to read it than while physically being and living in that culture in Vietnam, seeing the real life effects of the war. I want to read more Kristen Hannah books. This book is just the one that is top priority for me. Book number 4, House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J Maas. Over the past 3 years I have read Sarah J Maas kind of continually. Almost 4 years ago I started reading ACOTAR, and then I finished that 2-3 years ago. Then I started reading Throne of Glass 1-2-ish years ago now, in about, oh my god, in Easter that will be 2 years since I read it, because oh my god, that's crazy, because I started reading it in Easter. Anyway, wow. And then I finished Throne of Glass in January last year, so I've kind of continually read her books for a huge span of time, and I think it is only right that I start another year of reading her books by starting the Crescent City series. To be completely honest, I'm quite intimidated by the series. The size of the books primarily quite off-putting, and also I'm a little hesitant about the plot line, because I know it's an urban fantasy and I'm not the biggest fan of urban fantasies. I think that's why I don't really like the Cruel Prince trilogy. I'd rather be in a completely separate world reading fantasy than in kind of one that feels too close to reality. Anyway, I'm willing to give it a try. Book 5 is Fallen Stars by Mani Ayu. I finished Heavenly Bodies recently. Was that November or December? And I loved it. A solid 4.5 stars, I'd say. It was a really good book. And the second book just recently came out. November. The end of November, was it? November 27th, I feel like it came out. So that's really exciting. So I would really like to pick that book up as soon as possible so the information is still fresh in my mind. Next is The Poppy War by Arif Kwan. To be completely honest with you, I don't really know the plot of this story. I just know that I need to read it. I swear it's quite an emotionally devastating book and I do like to be devastated. That one's just kind of on there for vibes. Devastating vibes, but vibes. Next 3 books, so book 7, 8 and 9, is the continuation of the Magnolia Park series, which I just saw are on Kindle Unlimited, which is really exciting, so I can read those while I'm travelling. That is Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home, Daisy Hates the Great Undoing, and Magnolia Parked Into the Dark by Jessa Hastings. I listened to the first 2 books on audiobook. I really liked it. It's kind of an easy, enjoyable read. There's nothing difficult to comprehend as you're listening or reading this story. You're basically just following a bunch of rich socialites as they're going about their day, and it's just toxic and it's full of drama and it's enjoyable, and I'm really excited to see where the story goes, especially considering the ending of Magnolia Parks. It really ends on a cliffhanger, and then you go and you have to read Daisy Hates, so I'm really excited to now pick up from where we left off at the end of Magnolia Parks. Continuing on with the theme of ending or concluding series that I've started, I would really like to read Iron Flame and Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarrow. This is the 2nd and 3rd book in the Fourth Wing series, or the Emprian series, I think is actually the series names. I read Fourth Wing in the summer and I liked it, but I didn't love it. But upon reflection, I think it wasn't a 5-star read for me because I just finished reading The Auction, which is a 5-star read. You know, when you go from too much of a high, no book really compares. Kind of the next book is always kind of a bit of a kill-off, just because you're looking for a book to do exactly what the 5-star book you just finished did. At least that's how it is for me. I just wasn't able to enjoy Fourth Wing to the fullest. That being said, I recently started listening to Onyx Flame on audiobook, but it got returned back to the library, so I didn't finish it, but I was really enjoying the small snippets that I listened to, so I do think I will very much enjoy Iron Flame and hopefully Onyx Storm. Next, book 12 is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, the book which I claimed many a time since I've started this YouTube channel that I was going to read, and guess what? I didn't read it in December like I swore I was going to. Who could have guessed? That does not mean I'm not going to read it in 2026. I have a goal, I have a vision, I want to read more classics. I just want to be a bit more educated, and I feel like classics are classics for a reason, and I do feel like I should make myself read them, at least a few a year. Following on with that theme, book 13 is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, but again, in that sort of I want to read classics mindset. Pride and Prejudice is very well known. Book 14 is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I never picked it up, but I did watch the movie, and it's a phenomenal movie, so I'm really excited to read the book. I love The Hunger Games. I'm not like a mega fan, but I really do enjoy them. I read the books years ago. That is another series I would like to reread. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is the prequel. It's not the first Hunger Game, it's about the 10th. They introduced the concept of each tribute having a mentor, and Snow was a mentor for Lucy Gray. There is a lot of parallels between Lucy Gray and Katniss. Obviously, Snow ends up becoming President Snow, like from the Hunger Games, leading the next round of Hunger Games for years to come, but you see him in his younger state, and it's a really, really good movie, and I'm really excited to read the book. And I think the plot is really interesting and adds a lot of depth, and I just love books which go above and beyond basic black and white tropes and characters, and the fact that you witness a completely different side of Snow, one that you're inclined to like, but paralleled with the knowledge you have from the Hunger Games of President Snow, and just sort of comprehending that. I enjoy books that really make you think and are more dimensional. Following on from that is book 15, which is Sunrise on the Reaping, also by Susan Collins, and again this is another prequel. It's in a different time frame. There is a movie coming out in 2027, is it? Or maybe it is 2026, but this follows Haymitch's Hunger Games, so his was the 50th. Every quarter quell, like the quarter quell is a big Hunger Games, so even more extreme, so that would be the 25th Hunger Games, the 50th Hunger Games, and then the 75th Hunger Games. And I believe in the second quarter quell, which is Haymitch's, like the 50th games, there were double the amount of tributes. I've heard amazing things about this book. I kind of feel like prequels are better than sequels in the fact that it's so much more like emotional to learn more about characters you already know about, like developing what you know about them. Book 16 is The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. This book is narrated by Death, and it follows the Second World War, I believe. So it's the tale of the book thief as narrated by Death. It's just a small story really about, amongst other things, a girl, an accordionist, some fanatical Germans, a Jewish fist fighter, and quite a lot of thievery. I love history, as I've said, especially learning about World War II. I'm really interested in learning about the Second World War, so I'm very, very excited to read that book. Okay, book 17 is a bit niche. It might not be what you're expecting to see on this list. I Want to Read All the Young Dudes by Miss King Bean 89. When I say book one, when people book bind All the Young Dudes, they split it into the years. So book one is years 1 to 4, book 2 is years 5 to 7, and then book 3 is like, till the end, so it's 1971 to 1995. I've read kind of the big fanfics, and this is just one that I just feel like I really need to read. It's the next installment in the main fan fiction world. A lot of people take All the Young Dudes to be canon when thinking about the Marauder era, so I just really want to know. I want to read it, I want to be in on the lore, and I feel like it's time I read it, yeah, basically. Book 18 is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I have the whole of the J.R.R. Tolkien universe within the Hobbit world. I have The Hobbit, I have the three Lord of the Rings, and I have the Silmarillion. I don't know if that comes at the end or before. My granddad just gave me those books, so I would really like to read it. It's kind of another universe to explore. Another classic one that I feel like I should know. We used to watch the movies as kids. I loved Lord of the Rings, but like I couldn't tell you the plot. Knowing that I did used to like it, I feel like there's no reason why I wouldn't like it now. Book 19, I didn't want to include that many rereads on this list, but this is the one exclusion, and that is The Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. Primarily the reason why I am reading book 1 to 3 of The Mortal Instruments is so I can start rereading The Infernal Devices, which is up there. I've said this so many times across so many videos, but I have read The Infernal Devices about 5 years ago now. I love them. I would really like to reread them, but I would also really like to reread them having read The Mortal Instruments and reading it in the correct reading order. It's set in the Shadowhunter world, but it's set in about the 1800s, so about 200 years before The Mortal Instruments is set. Having read The Infernal Devices, reading The Mortal Instruments, there's a lot of key names, like last names, that come up and you recognise them. Book 20 is, loosely put, the Caravel series by Stephanie Garber. I've heard about this series for years. I think everyone has. It's been famous for a good long while now. I believe it basically follows a sister who goes missing to a magical travelling circus. I definitely know it has a travelling circus, and I'm pretty sure when I read the blurb it was about a missing sister and the other sister goes looking for her, I believe. At least that's the information I'm going into it with. It's just meant to be very magical, whimsical, fancy vibes. And that's a 3-book series, and I just loosely put the series because the 21st book I want to read is the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, also by Stephanie Garber, which I believe is the prequel or the sequel. Either it's set before or after the Caraval series, but people say you have to read the Caraval series first. I really want to read this series again. I actually know nothing about Once Upon a Broken Heart, the series, even less than I do about Caraval, but I saw a YouTube video, I don't know who it was, but she was reading Once Upon a Broken Heart, and she like put a bunch of images of the aesthetic of the book, and I was like, I need to read that. I need to read that. It looked so just a bit of me, like whimsical but like light, fancy. It looked amazing. It looked like a bit of me. Obviously that would mean I would have read the 3 Caraval books first, so maybe it's a bit aspirational, but I would really like to read those. 22nd, a bit of a switch here, a bit random, is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. I think we have all seen the fact that The Housemaid has now been made into a movie, but it has brought my attention to it. I've never read a Frida McFadden book, but I do tend to like a mystery thriller type book, at least in the moment. They're never like 5-star books for me, but I always enjoy them, and I'd quite like to read some of the big names in the space, like the thriller space. So I would quite like to read The Housemaid, which I have seen is on Kindle Unlimited, so then I can eventually watch the movie. Book 23, this is another one of a bit of a vague one. So I would really like to read an Elsie Silver book. I've never read anything by her. I'm not massively a romance reader, but I do like it, so I'm just thinking maybe I haven't read the right books for me. Everyone raves about Elsie Silver, so I thought why not give her a go. From what I know, I mean, if you have recommendations of which one you think I should read first, please let me know. I've put Flawless down, which I think is the first book in the Chestnut Spring series, which I've seen everyone rave about. So I'm going to start there. If there's another book, as I say, you think I should read first, do let me know. But that's what I'm provisionally starting. I would just quite like to see what she's all about. Maybe I am more of a romance reader than I think I am. It'll be interesting to see, considering the amount of hype she gets. She does get talked about a lot. Book 24 is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I have had this book on my shelves for about 2 years now, and I tried to pick it up this autumn. I've talked about it on this channel and I never did, or like I picked it up and then I picked Alchemized up instead, and I put it down and I never picked The Secret History back up. But this is the year that I must read it and I must get through it. It follows a group of academics in a college in New England, I believe, like a quite prestigious college, and I believe they end up murdering someone, or that's like what you get told, like first thing off the bat is like, we killed this boy called Bunny, and then you read on and you find that they know Bunny. So I don't know how they got to murdering them. I don't know. Everyone raves about it. My friends raved about it. It's dark academia vibes. It's autumnal. We will see. We will read it this year. Hold me to it. Hold me accountable. And then for the final 2 books on this list is a complete change of tone, a complete change of pace, and is probably not the most interesting to everyone, but I would really like to read them, and it is my list at the end of the day. So I'm just warning you now, it's probably not going to be what you expect. But book 25 is How to Own the World Before You're 30 by Andrew Craig, which is a book about investment. How boring of me, I know, but my parents read the Not Before 30 book and they swore by it. They really want us to read it. One of my New Year's resolutions for 2026 is to become more financially literate, especially considering the fact that I'm 18, I'm now gonna be moving out. I would just quite like to just be a bit more educated about it. And then my 26th and my last book on this list is Girls That Invest by Simran Kaur. Like a kind of like self-help, inspirational video. and this lady was basically saying about how she became financially literate, and she said that she read Girls That Invest, and I just thought, why not, let's read it. And that concludes the 26 books that I want to read in 2026. Please let me know down below the books that you are wanting to read this year, if you've read any of the books on my list and if you'd recommend them. As I said at the start of this video, I am about to embark on 4 to 5 months of travelling, so I can't really say what this channel is going to be like over those 4 to 5 months. I do hope to stay as consistent as possible, and I do hope to post regularly, but bear with me. I'm sorry if sometimes there's not a post. I'm very, very sorry for my month of silence previously in December, but do know that when I get back, I will be back to posting twice a week on this channel. I'm not forgetting about you guys at all. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you soon. Bye guys.